Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to week 8 of Grief Beyond Death series, where we've been talking about different types of grief that comes into our life outside of death. And I know that a lot of them I still bring in death because that is a lot of what I know with the death of my daughter and the death of my husband. But I hope that you've felt seen and started to recognize how many other things that happen in our lives that cause grief on a regular basis. Today, for this last week of this series, we're going to talk about meaning, integration, and becoming. Because I think there's a subtle pressure that shows up after a rupture, after a loss. And that's this pressure or this idea that we need to silver line it. We need to explain what it taught us. We need to show how it's made us stronger. And I know that what I'm doing here with my Wednesday Wisdom posts can look a lot like that's exactly what I'm doing, that I'm silver lining the situations, the losses, the rupture. I'm explaining what the losses taught me and how they have made me stronger. But I also hope that you know and that you see that this isn't me polishing pain, but rather it's me modeling integration. Because there's a difference between forcing meaning and allowing grief to shape you over time. You're never going to hear me say that whatever loss it was that came into my life was good. You will hear me talk about the blessings that have come because of it. But the loss itself, it's not good. And so what you will hear and what I am saying, that it's part of me now. And in that, I'm choosing to live honestly with that. So when we talk about meaning, we're not talking about justifying the loss. What we're talking about actually is how we weave it into who we're becoming. Because here's what I've learned, and here's what I think is the truth. We don't erase loss. We don't get over it. And we don't have to redeem it to be worthy of moving forward with it. So integration looks more like talking about it without your nervous system completely collapsing. Making decisions with wisdom that's been shaped by what we've lived through, what we've learned to live with. Integration looks like carrying tenderness where we used to carry shock. And noticing depth in yourself that wasn't there before. Not because the loss was good, but because you stayed. You stayed present with your own heart. For me, I've learned this through so many losses, death and non-death. But for the sake of what we're talking about, the non-death losses, faith transitions within my family, I've learned this through relationships that shifted, through dreams that didn't unfold the way I thought that they would. None of those things were blessings in disguise, but they are part of me now. And they've softened me. They've developed me. They've stretched me. And really, I think they've made me so that I can be more careful with other people's hearts. And that's not silver lining it. That's integration. And integration takes time. It's so slow. And integration doesn't happen just because someone tells you to be grateful, to lean into this, to carry your grief, whatever people tell you. That's not how integration happens. That's not why integration happens. It happens because you finally let yourself grieve fully enough that the loss no longer needs to fight for your attention. It simply becomes part of your story, part of your becoming. So, if you're in the thick of it right now, I just want to say and emphasize, you don't need to rush to make meaning out of this. You don't need to explain what this is teaching you, and you don't need to prove growth is coming from it. Because healing isn't about turning pain into something pretty. It's about letting it change you honestly. And over time, You may notice that what once felt like it would break you has become woven into your strength, your compassion, your discernment, your depth, not erased, integrated. If this series has resonated with you, if what we've been talking about for the last 8 weeks has felt helpful, truly, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your likes and your comments and for sharing it with your friends. All of this tells me and anyone else that's watching and listening that we are not alone. We together are building this community that shows others that we're willing to witness grief in all its forms, not just the kind that comes with a funeral. And I feel like we're just working together. We're weaving something together here that is so beautiful and so important and so needed. And I am so grateful that you're a part of this with me. Thank you. And I just want to add real quick, next week is March. March is going to be a tricky month for me. And I just want to name that and set whatever expectations that I don't even know what expectations I have of March. March is the month that my husband was born in. March is the month that my husband died in. And this March makes 1 year. So I think it's going to be tricky. And I may be setting myself for more than what will actually happen. I don't know. But I just want to say integration, right? It's a living, breathing thing. And we'll see what March brings for me. But whatever it brings, I'm grateful to know that I have this little community of people who love me and support me. Thank you for being here for me. I will see you next week, one way or another. I might be a crazy mess, but I'm going to be authentic and I'm going to be real about how the month goes for me. I love you guys. Have a great week.